Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday, June 26th for another live. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and all the things. Well, almost live into Instagram as we figure this out. Hopefully, the streaming software is working so that the go live part pairs. But excited to have you back, or if this is your first time, welcome. We are talking about how to maximize your revenue with email today. And for those that were able to join us on Tuesday, I appreciate you and your patience for last Friday. Hello, Bay. Hello, Sammy. Hello, Irish. What's this? Popcorn, yellow stripes. I love how using Restream, these emojis are just not coming through in the same capacity. You're like, it's here. These are little emojis. I'm glad that you can love them. I'm sure they look better on YouTube, but of course, inside of Restream, what we're seeing is a struggle. It is Friday. Welcome, everyone. I'm glad, Bay, that you're recognizing we've got a new key light. So, been doing this for almost over 6 months now, and it's coming through. Glum, welcome. Glad to have you. In today's episode for email revenue, because we were able to talk about the pipeline so much on Tuesday, I actually am excited to talk about the intersection of the pipeline and email revenue maximization and how we're able to not only get more money from our email that we're running on a daily or weekly basis, but also make sure that we're not wasting money on our emails when we're sending them on a daily and weekly basis. If you are new to these are informal, but ideally informative live webinars-ish where I'm training my team and allowing anyone else that wants to be on a fly on a wall so that we can continue the conversation, so that at Mongoose Media, the agency where we run performance marketing and have creative content for our clients, which, yes, I'm just going to selfishly use the fire emojis for that perfect timing, Sammy. We do this for our clients, and we want to walk our talk. I'm really fortunate. My name is Lauren Petrullo. I get to speak on stages all around the world, most recently in Romania, and this Sunday online, talking to incredible business owners and marketing teams alike from a consulting as well as a speaking capacity. So I get to teach and train on this stuff a lot. And what I've come to realize is I get to teach the world, but I don't always teach the team. So that's what these were originally set up for. Hence, these are informal. My team is here. We're glad to have you. If you're not on the team, whether it's you or your team that's participating, I'm literally showing you inside of what we do at our system. So today is all about revenue maximization from your emails. And this is probably the one we've done the most. And one that if you have joined us before should feel really what is it like? You should have momentum in understanding the concept where a lot of it is when you're talking to your folks in your emails, in your CRMs, if you're talking to them as they are just the same, then we're having trouble. Side note, Heather, just in the background, I can't get Instagram to go live. I'm not quite sure what I'm doing. Oh, you know what? I just realized every time I've been editing this stream key with this stream URL. Oh my gosh, this is too funny. Okay, whoops. I'm updating it mid-live. We'll see if that makes a difference. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I was just blonde to that degree. But again, informal, but ideally informative, including being informed on how we're messing this up. So we'll see if it lets us switch over. And it does. Oh my gosh. I finally solved why that wasn't working on Instagram before. Anyways, so on this one, in the past email webinars, what we've been doing a lot has been talking about 3 really big concepts, which we'll run over quickly now, and then jump into how this graduates from what we talked about on Tuesday, so that we're not only focused about maximizing your revenue on your email, but we're also focused on how you can minimize your costs. So in the traditional email revenue webinars, we always talk about like who are the different avatars you're sending to. We talk about ways that you can quickly get big wins on new revenue that you can get from your campaigns. And then we talk about ways that you can exit out people that are disqualified so that you can have better optimization on your ads and you can have better costs and better cleanliness, especially for high volume periods like Black Friday or this upcoming 4th of July sale, which is like Christmas in July. And often, if not the first, the second launch of you, sorry, if not the first, it should be the first pre-launch of what your Black Friday deal is going to be. So we'll go over those 3 things. You can watch past lives or email us for our past notes to get the too long don't read if you want to go more specific into these. But I'm excited to graduate a little bit past those 3 main topics and cover how we take it even further, especially if you're in the B2B space. This is absolutely true for e-commerce clients. I got you. But if you don't have a high ticket product with your e-commerce situation, it's not going to be as impactful if you don't have some sort of AI tool or team that you're building out. So today's email revenue maximizer of how you can get a lot for it. Oh my gosh, Kevin, welcome. So glad to have you. Welcome, my friend. We're going to be talking about how this is really important if you have high ticket e-commerce, if you have a subscription related to your e-commerce, and especially if you're in the B2B space. So highlight of those 3. Let's talk about avatars really quickly. We have 5 different avatars that we're going to talk to when someone comes into our email system. Irish is saying hello to Kevin too. We're so excited to have you. Welcome. With our avatars, what we're talking about is when someone comes into your email system, whether they're new or coming from a lead magnet. So anyone that's joining here, you might have seen our sign up for the webinar. So to sign up for Email Revenue Maximizer, or maybe signed up for Yes Please, or you signed up for one of our lead magnets. However you've entered our ecosystem, before you get your first initial reply, we need to make sure that we are doing what we call email triage. You are not receiving an email until it's been personalized first based off of your relationship to our brand. So the brand being Mongoose Media, the best agency in the world. Clearly not biased whatsoever. But we want to make sure that you are getting a personalized email that's related to the relationship you have with my brand, as well as a personalized email based on your relationship you have to my CRM. So what does that mean? You come in and you're going to fall into one of 5 buckets, which is actually now 4 because we use high level. We white label it. It's called Dologale, and have recently found that the unsubscribe situation is a bit more complicated, but we're going to be transparent as always. And we've got this new Friday blog where I'm going to spill even more personalized tea, even more informal, that we're going to maintain continued updates as we go through this high level challenge we've just discovered. Sorry, HubSpot is a more superior CRM. However, high level is the one that we use because we can give it to our clients and give them a really good, it's like a Volvo, but our clients that are using HubSpot more and more, we're finding that high level is just not there yet. But also we have clients that are spending over $20,000 a year on HubSpot. And for some small businesses, that's just not an expense they want to go after. And high level is a pretty good end all be tool, but you're hitting me hard right here, Sean. So hopefully you can work on fixing that. Regardless, when someone comes into an ecosystem, regardless, agnostic to whatever entry point they have, it's really important for us to put that new contact into a bucket of 1 of 5. 1, we have to ask these questions before we get to it, which is this person brand new to our ecosystem or not? Because most of the time, brands are sending the same email to individuals as if they're cold, even when they are not cold to you. So what's the relationship with your CRM? They already exist. So stop treating people that are inside your ecosystem as if they're a stranger. That's so rude. It's like walking out in the street and I'm saying hello. Or when you walk into a house, at least growing up, the first thing you had to do getting into a house was you had to speak. You don't speak, I don't know who just entered the house. Then you take off your shoes. That's at least the rules that I grew up with. And I believe that should be transferred over into your CRM. That's a non-negotiable line you cannot pass, where if you come into my CRM for whatever entry point, I need to ask that first question, not me. It's the automations. Your CRMs can do this for you. But you have a condition. Does this person exist in my CRM or not? If they do not treat me like a stranger. Because if I come into your house, I'm like, hey, it's Lauren. And then you treat me like a stranger. I'm like, why am I entering your house? And that's such a weird, creepy thing to do. If I'm saying hello, I want you to say hello back because you know me. Same as if I'm walking on the street and I'm like, oh, howdy, howdy, hi. If that's what I'm saying to a stranger, and then I see my neighbor Richard, I'd rather greet Richard with his first name, right? There's a little bit more personalization because he would feel so offended. I've lived in this house for over 10 years. For me not to acknowledge him, that's so mean. If I'm not going to call him by his first name, I'll at least acknowledge his amazingly cute dog. Anyways, the pieces are when you ask that first question, whether or not they're new to your ecosystem, it allows you to parse them. New people, they're going to get the emails you probably have already been sending. But existing people, I'm going to ask you spend 15 minutes and using Claude, Chat, Meta AI, whatever your AI tool of choice is, and retweak that initial email just a little bit so you can acknowledge the person coming in with a little bit of kindness and a little bit of consideration, seeing that they've already been inside of your ecosystem. We spend a lot of money to acquire new contacts, subscribers, and leads. And when we treat them as if they're cold and strangers, that's like going to a bar that you've been attending or a cafe that you've been going to for years, and the barista's still not knowing you're a regular, still not knowing your order. Like, well, I don't have loyalty to you. But this first time I go into a location and they're like, hey, yeah, you want that lavender matcha latte with like no added sugar? Say less. I'm like, oh, I feel so seen. Thanks. That small amount of endorphins that we can provide to someone is as easy as spending less than 15 minutes with an AI tool so that you can retweak that more personalized experience. So if they are brand spanking new, you're going to send them the emails that you've already probably written. But if they're new, or they're not new, and they exist in your database, we're going to follow up with some additional questions so that we can have that more personalized experience based off of their relationship to the CRM. So they are an existing person. What we're going to do really, really quickly is check, did that person ever unsubscribe from us? I just want to know, did they ever unsubscribe? And Heather's just putting here in transparency, as a marketer, the previous unsub and resub high-level gatekeep is annoying, but as someone with an email, I respect it. I get it. So what we're finding out is when we ask the question, has this person ever unsubscribed to us before? We want to know if you've unsubscribed to us and now you're coming back. Oh my gosh, that's like your ex saying, can we try again? And say you're still interested in it. Like that's like an opportunity. Someone who has come back into your ecosystem, knows a little bit about you, and they're willing to give you a second try. Sorry, just adjusting. And so when we have someone that's willing to give us a second try, there's a lot more likelihood that we're going to get money from them faster than someone who doesn't know us at all, right? So if someone's ever unsubbed, what's really good is you can have that initial conversation so they get switched into bucket number 2, unsubbed, or you can have an honest conversation like, hey, this is awkward, but thanks so much for giving us a second try. And if you have a sales team, this is a really good chance for you to put in a notification for a customer care / salesperson to reach out and just genuinely reintroduce yourself. I bet you since they unsubscribed, you've cleaned up your product offering, you've enhanced your services, you're treating your customers and your leads with more respect. Why? Because that's what ends up happening when you evolve as a relationship. So if you want to make more money from someone that's coming to your ecosystem, understanding whether or not they've previously unsubscribed gives you a higher understanding of the likelihood of you collecting cash faster. Yes, you'll talk to those that are cold, but when you have the ability to work a list, don't you want to work the ones that are going to get you cash the fastest first? I think there was like a Catch Me If You Can film with Leonardo DiCaprio where he was doing some role where he was on the phone and the first person he called, he was supposed to like go through a list of 500 names. He just went straight to the bottom. Watch that not be a Leonardo DiCaprio movie, but like some other role. But in that sense, you're supposed to like work a list from top to bottom, but you know that the bottom of the list is the real good part. Why would you start with the ones that are the hardest to convert? No way. With your email marketing and your ability to engage and prioritize those that have a higher likelihood of converting, do not waste your time on the cold when you have more opportunity in the pipeline. So that first bucket, if they're cold, fine. They live it. They're going to get the business as usual emails. But that second bucket, if they've previously unsubscribed, it really was Leo. Okay. I didn't make that up. I'm like, oh man, I haven't watched that film in a long time. And it was a wonderful film. If they're in that unsub bucket, send them a more personalized email, acknowledge that they previously unsubscribed, and allow this as a chance to reintroduce yourself. That first email that acknowledges, hey, here's the asset you're looking for, or hey, here's the information. You can then have a re-welcome series that goes specifically to that unsubscriber that really gets to highlight the difference. Now, let's say you have an even greater tradition and you know this person unsubscribed in 2025 or earlier. You get to say, hey, here's my 2026 welcome series, and say a lot has changed. Like at Mongoose Media, for example, a lot has changed within the last 2 years trying to combat how do we stay relevant in an AI landscape that is essentially trying to replace my very existence of a company. So for those of the brands and the amazing clients that we've worked with over the past that we're not currently working with, and they come back, I think it'd be really important for us, like, hey, we now have content creation. Hey, we now have a very different model in terms of how we deliver paid performance, how we do paid media. Hey, we now have a whole tracking and reporting aspect to our business that we hadn't emphasized before. Or, hey, we have 5 people that are assigned to your account every single time. And we have all these new reports that we have refined over the years. Having that reintroduction is a way to ensure that you're providing value at the gate. And for the unsubscribers, you're acknowledging that they have a lot more information about you than maybe previously had, and that you're thankful for that second chance. The third bucket, so let's say we asked first, are they new to us? No, not new. Did they ever unsubscribe to us? No. Okay, phew. Now the next question we want to do, remember we're parsing them into 5 different buckets. The next question we want to ask is, has this person ever given me money? We want to know, is this person a customer? Because if you're going to talk to someone who's a customer, who's given you money before, the same as you're talking to a cold person, how dare you? How dare you disrespect the money I've given you? So again, this is a small thing. You can do a quick tweak with AI and update. I'm like talking about updating the first 150 characters of your email. Adding in a welcome flow, if you've got an indoctrination series, is one thing that they can do that's extra. But even just acknowledging from that first email that says, hey, you're in, or hey, here's your asset. You want to do the same thing for if they're a customer. And you always want to thank them. Why? Because the customer trusted you with their 16 digits of their credit card. And that's a trust that you don't want to break. So when someone comes in, after you've asked, like Wilma was saying, the first question is, are they new or not? Second question you want to ask is, did they ever unsubscribe? And third is, have they ever given you money? The reason why I'm saying the unsub before the money is because the unsub is such a more precarious situation and it's so small, like that type of list that you could go into. And that's the fastest to cash. Versus if someone has already given you money, getting more, maybe they're just like staying on top of the stuff. So that next question you ask is, if they've ever given you money, and they have, then you just personalize the first few characters. And then you just acknowledge them, like, hey, so glad to see you, like long time no see, or whatever that type of situation is. You just really want to emphasize the gratitude and acknowledge who they are. It's a really easy way for your customers to feel that you're doing something that they're probably not doing. So that level of personalization isn't icky. It's not like, oh, I feel like I'm so creeped out. Like it's a relevant piece of conversation that your customers will appreciate versus the way that people go way too personalized. It's like, how did you know that about me? Why, yes, I did go to that intro to pole class. Why, yes, I do wear purple glasses. Why, yes, I am getting my nails done this weekend. Whatever those things are, like, I don't want you to know everything about me, but to know that I unsubscribed or to know that I've given you money, those are fair things to do that don't take a lot of time to rework in your welcome series for when any time someone jumps into your CRM. So what if it is a person that has not given you money? They are not a customer. We've got one more question to check. So they're inside our ecosystem, never unsubbed, never gave us money. And the last question we're going to ask to put them into either bucket 4 or 5 is the asset that they're signing up for, whatever reason they're getting into your ecosystem. Have they previously already signed up for this exact same thing? We call this avatar asset deja vu. So if you signed up for this webinar and then you signed up for the exact same webinar, the same date, because we do this every 5 weeks, every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, we go live and have been doing this for over 6 months. We rotate this topic. So this week we're doing email. Last week, which we then did on Tuesday, was about pipeline. And then next week, I think, is Horseman. Then it goes to creative diversification. I don't know, Heather, you can show the dates. Oh, wait, no, actually, I don't. It's here. Horseman, creative diversification. Haha. Oh, man. Way to go, Heather. Appreciate you for updating that. You rock star. Heather is on the team and is in the background. And we're having a private chat. So again, informal, but ideally some of the stuff is being more informative. And for the team, a lot of this is just a reiteration, which is why we're graduating to the next step. So that final question we ask before anyone gets their first email is, have they already signed up to this exact same asset before? Sometimes people repeat signing up for the same asset. And what's great about that is, again, when we're looking at our order of who we're going to contact, if you have a call center, you have a outreach system, or if you're limited with how many texts or emails you can send a day, putting them into the priority of how you can get the fast person to cash is better than just emailing everyone as if they're the same. So if they've already signed up for this asset, more likely it went to spam, they couldn't find it, or they loved it so much they wanted to get it again because they were too lazy to go through their emails. But when someone is signing up for the exact same thing, we know that the more people consume, the higher likelihood they'll be to convert. Hence that first division question is, do they already exist in our CRM or not? Because if they do, we can assume they've consumed at least one thing of ours because they've previously signed up. So if they've signed up for this exact same asset, they've consumed information, whether they remembered or not, that validated that this is something that was useful for them. So as we've done in a lot, we've gone much, much deeper into this with diagrams and walkthroughs and encouragement of how to shape that very first introduction of your emails. Literally, you can take the transcripts uploaded to Claude, and then they can rewrite your existing emails for you following those different avatars, or you can check out the past ones. But the most important thing of an easy way to get more revenue from your emails is making sure that first impression really lands with relevance to their relationship with your brand and their relationship with your CRM. Because if they don't know your brand and their brand spanking new, you're going to talk to them a little bit differently than if they do know your brand. And then if they've ever given you money, if they've ever unsubscribed, or if they've already signed up for this existing asset. That, like, you take away nothing else, that small unlock allows you to do personalization at scale in a way that your competitors are definitely not doing it, and in a way that your audience is going to recognize it and remember it. Okay. The second thing that we've talked about in our past webinars, just as a reminder, they are easy ways to win quick back revenue. We have seen this show up as much as 20% of revenue recovery. Now, all examples are, what are the legalese terms? Like, not all examples given are guarantee of results. Of course, I'm remembering outliers, but this is something you can do both in your automations and in your campaigns. Minus the iOS updates, which means that any Apple email receipts through Apple Mail are opened on a separate server. If you have an email that you're sending out that you've invested time in from campaigns or automations, and the person has not opened that email, you're able to leverage, rescue, and recover additional money by having a quick check after this email was sent. 6 hours, 16 hours, 18 hours. The number of hours isn't as relevant as the fact whether you do it or not. Is you just check if they did not open the email, resend it after a period later, and hit them with the exact same email and a new subject line. When you're sending that exact same email that you spent time coding, if it's HTML, designing, if it's inside of a platform, or writing, because stuff takes time, you can reuse the email, change the subject line. They never saw what was inside it because they didn't open it. So resend it to them. Maybe when you send it to them, they were distracted watching Friends and Neighbors. When you send it to them, maybe they were just falling asleep. So they saw the impression but didn't have time. And then you can send it later when they wake up. Or maybe you sent it to them and a fire showed up at work. So they didn't have the chance to look at it. They wanted to. Subject line was cool, but they're distracted. We're distracted humans. So resending the exact same email with a new subject line, we have seen clients get as much as 20% revenue recovery, especially on campaigns. If you've got a limited time event or a sales campaign that's going on, this is one of the easiest things that you can do. And you don't have to do any personalization based off of who they are in your ecosystem. You just got to change the subject line. Now, we have done this multiple times. 3 resends hasn't done anything. 2 is the maximum I would do it. Maybe you send it 6 hours later and then you send it, still didn't open, 1 more 23 hours later. Why? Because we're creatures of habit. So if I was online at 3:24 p.m. on a Friday, it's likely that I'm also going to be online at 3:23 or 2:23 tomorrow because of that creatures of habit. And if you do it an hour earlier, you don't know if my 3:24 p.m. timeline is the end of my time online or the beginning. So you just get to cut in a little bit before, so you're not sending it the last end. Learn that from years in corporate. So enjoy that little nugget. We talked about avatars. We talked about the easiest thing you can do is if they did not open, resend it with a different subject line. And the third thing that we had talked about was how do you make sure that you X out bad leads, bad subscribers, so that you're not paying for additional emails and you're not optimizing for poor quality in your advertising efforts. So again, in that email triage situation, where we're saying, which bucket does this person fall into? We then do a rinse and repeat scenario where if we sent the emails, we're not actually delivering anything but the value of what they originally asked for. Well, we have found that when someone signs up for a lead magnet, let's say, I'm like, what's near me? Okay, I've got a Larabar protein bar. So say I have a lead magnet for this protein bar company, right? And maybe it's this says their selling point is just 4 real ingredients: peanut butter, chocolate chip, no artificial sweeteners, plant-based, gluten-free, dairy-free, vegan. So maybe I create a lead magnet, which is protein, like maybe it's a list of we're coming into H2 of 2026 if your fiscal year is calendar year. So we say like the first half, maybe here's a collection of research studies about protein bars and common ingredients with adverse side effects. So it's like, hey, you don't have to stay on top of all the scientific studies that are going on, but us at Larabar, we do, because we're looking at our competitors. Heather's like, what's on Lauren's desk this week? A nutrition bar. Look, it's better than what I did on Tuesday, which was nail polish maneuver, which, you know, you can tell I didn't do a very good job. It would be funny, Heather, like next time you're in town, if you just leave a surprise product and you're like, okay, Lauren, open that drawer. Like, all right, this is what I'm pushing. So anyways, if Heather's like absolutely going to do this, or like you could just like hide a few of them in the office, like you did with the baby goats, and then you're like, Lauren, check behind, like open up the owl zipper or whatever. I would die. That would be too funny. But we're doing the Larabar. Is it Larabar? Larabar? Lara. I don't know. The A's with the 2 dots. That's not the English alphabet letter. I don't know what our alphabet's called. Oh man. Walking myself in where Heather's like, say no more. Okay. So I like say I'm at Larabar, I'm emphasizing that we have just 4 real ingredients. And I believe that a lot of people buy substitute protein bars with substitute imitation ingredients that have adverse effects. Like the fact of the matter is like, yes, you can do protein powder, but the actual product itself is better. Yes, you can do frozen fruit, but fresh fruit is, I'm not a nutritionist, but I understand is better. So if I'm going to do some sort of collection of here's just in 2026 publications following common protein bars. Like, I don't know, there's David's, there's Think Kind, there's, oh man, I'm sure a whole bunch more. I am not a protein bar person, but this one is delicious. And they may, like, I know David's had a lot of controversy. So it's like, hey, here's all the controversial things that have happened in the protein bar industry year to date. And then here's a quick summary. So if you haven't been catching up to it, like maybe it's something to be mindful of. I'm not using old data, but I've collected this lead magnet. So if you eat protein bars or you consume or you buy protein bars, I think it's relevant for you to know about the controversies and the harmful ingredients with adverse effects. And then ideally our Larabar is not on that list. So I make that lead magnet. So if you're in the market for protein bars or like you're a current protein bar consumer, I think this is like the most valuable report that you're going to get in 2026 that talks about all of the findings from 2026 year to date that we said, so that you can be empowered and informed the next time you buy a protein bar that you're buying with confidence. Someone signs up for this research book. I don't know, Bay or Sammy, someone can come up with a better name for this protein bar 2026 industry report. But when someone signs up for it and they're like, yes, I want this, where I'm going is that we say, we're going to gatekeep like a motherfudger. I don't believe in gatekeeping any valuable information, but I do believe in gatekeeping access. So if you signed up for this industry report and I give it to you in your email, or I give it to you on a landing page, and you said, yes, I want it. However, you don't access it. So I'm like, okay, got it. You were distracted. Let me resend it to you. Same email, different subject line. I'm going to resend it to you. I'm going to actually do that 2 more times. Shoot. I can check with my emails that you bars that move the protein. Is that the name of the company, Bay, or is that like the tagline? Bars that moves the protein. I don't know. But I'm going to send you like, hey, here's your industry report. Resend it to you 2 more times, different subject lines. Most people, most brands will then move on from, hey, here's your industry report to saying like, let me tell you why I created Larabar. It's all about me. Oh, and hi, I'm the owner. Let me tell you about me. And hey, this is why we're so different. Let me tell you more about me. And hey, here's 15%. Oh, Bay's confirming that's definitely the tagline. So our tagline for the future brand. So in this industry report, you said you wanted it. I'm giving it to you. I am going to gatekeep more information about me, more information that I want to tell you because you asked. So I'm going to give it to you. And I'm not going to move on until I know you've accessed this asset because I'm trying to train my CRM. I'm trying to balance my budget and I'm trying to prioritize my quality because I'm going to care more about my bottom line. And not only is this important for your emails, but it's important for your optimizations. Because if I sent you this industry report, you don't access it. Why would I ever think that if I'm going to send you a discount or I'm going to send you another ask, if you're not going to jump on what you asked for, why will I ever think you're going to jump for anything I ask of you? So this process where we call this like email triage, I'm going to send you the report a few times, still in access. I'm going to resend you the report in a different manner. Maybe I'm like, hey, this report just got featured in Forbes, for example, and it's been read by over 6,000 people. You definitely want to see what's inside. So I'm resending you the report in a different angle. Still didn't open it? Okay, I'm going to try one more angle. And so maybe in this time, instead of like I led with like, hey, here it is. Then I said, oh, wow, look how popular it is. Then I might say number 3. And it's just that like, we just got a testimonial that had come in from someone who was able to connect with their doctors and eliminate a lot of inflammation because of this specific ingredient. So then I'm like, hey, what? Someone was able to reduce inflammation and saw immediate health benefits? I want to know. So I'm going to send them this. And then what's happened? I've now sent you 3 different emails about this industry report. And yet you, the subscriber, have yet to do anything, have yet to access anything. Well, you're not looking like a very high quality subscriber to me, are you? No. So I'm going to try one more time, maybe 2 more times. And essentially at the end of this, which should be in a 30-day max period, I'm going to send you this industry report and I'm going to gatekeep any trial samples. I'm going to gatekeep any discounts from you. You asked for this report. I'm going to give it to you. I'm not going to talk about anything else because if you don't want to access this report, I don't want to give you the keys to the kingdom. You got the keys to the kingdom, and then I can see that you visited the report. You clicked on an email. You replied to an email. You've shown me what I call proof of life. Oh, you're going to get so much attention. You're going to get rewarded with the loyalty because now I get to have better optimization of people that are active in my email list. And I get to clear out those butt heads that showed me no proof of life, and they actually become zombies. So what we do is we send this industry report. We try to get them to give us proof of life. It's how they're saying we're going to dangle the keys of the kingdom in their face. But it's just out of reach until they engage with the brand, either by showing that they've accessed that industry report, they've clicked on an email or replied to an email that we've sent without proof of life. F that, I'm going to actually scrape them from our CRM. So what we do is we change their CRM status from being a potential subscriber to being just a zombie subscriber, which means they're not going to get our most valuable emails. They're not going to get prioritized from a personalized reach out plan. They're getting pushed to the bottom of the list, and they're going to stay at that bottom of the list for an entire 365 days before we scrub them completely clean from our system. If I'm going to give you a year, you signed up, I get it. Maybe there's other stuff. And then if you sign up for other things, you become a repeat person. I'm going to give you up to a year where maybe I'm going to send you a total of 11 more emails. Maybe. But if you're still in a zombie status, which we have as a CRM status, and it's been 365 days, then you get marked as disqualified. And I send further to Meta that this was a useless system or this is a useless contact to my CRM. So when we do these longer ones where we get more into the weeds, we talk about the avatars where I ask 4 questions. Are they new to the system? Have they ever unsubscribed? Have they ever given me money? Did they ever sign up for this exact asset again? And we send a personalized introduction to those emails so that when someone gets that asset, it's most relevant to who they are in relationship to our brand and our CRM. 2, the easiest hack you can do is send the exact same email to anyone that did not open it 6 to 23 hours later. and recover as much as 20% of what we've seen from our efforts. Can it be more? Could it be less? Like it depends with all of marketing. But this is one of the easiest things you do. You leverage, rescue, and recover funds that you didn't earn on that first send that you can recover in 1 or 2 additional sends. Again, in our experience, sending it 3 times didn't yield anything. But it's one of those quick, easy ones where you're not sending it to everyone, but you're sending it to a few and a chance to get the same message out because maybe that subject line didn't hit. And then last but not least, number 3, don't send someone your welcome series until they have given you proof of life. And if they're not giving you any type of proof of life, restatus them, give them a year to have a chance to show up and say, wait, I am interested in what your brand has to say. Otherwise, 365 days later, it's not me. It's definitely you. And you're breaking up with them and mark them as disqualified so that you can further send data back into the ad systems that this is not more of what you want. Okay. So those are the things that we go into much, much deeper and have been like hour-long calls in and of themselves. But what I want to progress in today's is taking that a step further. So we've talked about how we X someone out of our systems. So when someone signs up for an email, what we do is based off of what type of form or entry point that they had into our ecosystem, they might go into one of our 8 pipelines. What we talked a lot about on Tuesday was the marketing pipeline. Irish, you said no to nonchalance. Yeah, no way. You don't want to pay attention. I don't want to pay attention to you. You're like, I have resources that I'm putting towards our subscribers, towards our contacts. And if you're going to be nonchalant about the assets we provide, I'm going to be nonchalant about the access you're going to get. So with our pipeline, what a lot of people, we talked about today is a lot of people will only have a sales pipeline. We have 8 different pipelines, right? We have a relationship pipeline, a marketing pipeline, a sales pipeline, a customer pipeline, et cetera. But what I think is really good is, especially if you're in the B2B space, is you have your sales pipeline, but you should also have your marketing pipeline. We have longer sales cycles now. We're in situations where people are often comparing like the cost of gas and like it's leading to what has been a largely rougher start for a lot of different brands. And so making a separate marketing pipeline or sales pipeline can help this like marketing and sales fight that's always happening, but can also help you articulate a better quality of information so that you can go back towards what you're actually wanting, as well as working what you can. When you have a sales pipeline, these are people that are interested in what you have to sell. When you have a marketing pipeline, you have those that are interested in what you have to say. Greeting them differently, speaking to them differently allows you faster lines to cash and a faster focus to what matters, as well as better optimizations. And what I mean by this is when someone comes into your ecosystem and you're like, yep, I'm going to put them into our marketing pipeline. They're not ready to be sold to yet. I need to build a relationship with them. I need to qualify them. Are they someone that I actually want to sell to? We use BANT, B-A-N-T, which stands for budget, authority, need, and time. If you don't have at least 2 of the 4, you're not going to be a qualified individual for me. You're not going to be a sales qualified lead. But in order for you to mature from being a marketing qualified lead, which means you signed up for the system and you said, yeah, I'm interested in what you have to say, to becoming a sales qualified lead, which is, yeah, I'm interested in what you have to sell, but like also Mongoose Media wants to sell to you, there's a relationship that has to happen. And with our marketing pipeline, we're saying, so for people that come in, they come in as a curious state. Right. So we just have them in our pipeline, marketing pipeline stage. We've got curious, we've got clicked, we've got proof of life, we've got proof of pulse, proof of quality, proof of activity. So I'm just like moving them along as if maybe Heather, if there's a screenshot or something, or if it's inside of the Lauren Dologil piece, I'll share the screen and walk through those. But what I want to explain is where we need to have more opportunities for revenue maximization. When you have the marketing pipeline, you have a hit list of who you can contact to start building your brand relationship with. And Heather, I see you typing. Who you have your brand relationship with. So if you have someone that can call and contact, if you're in the B2B space, you not doing this, okay, I'll switch and share the screen, Heather, thanks so much. If you're not doing this by setting up a marketing pipeline and starting to do relationship building, what you're essentially doing is saying, I'm only wanting sales. I only want to get paid now. And you're being insensitive to where someone's relationship is with you. And you're making the assumption that everyone is just going to do everything that you want. And follow your every rule exactly. So it's like, let's be real. You have to be a little bit more kind. Heather, I'm just making a little update on that one, just FYI. And there's not pure parity, but I am going to share my screen now because I just switched it. So let's just have a visual of what I'm talking about with that marketing pipeline. And so here are the different stages, right? We have curious, clicked, proof of life. Oh, Heather's fixing this. Thank you. Oh yeah, and I can zoom in. So we have curious, we have clicked, we have proof of life. Like, so people send proof of life, they clicked. And then we have proof of life that they replied. Then we have proof of pulse, proof of quality, proof of activity. If you are using your emails and entering them into a marketing pipeline like this, you can do better segmentation and you can have sales pushes that's going to lead to revenue faster. Just as when they first come in, you're going to talk to an individual in your pipeline differently based off of their pipeline stage, or sorry, they're based off their relationship with your brand. We're also going to talk to them differently based off of their relationship in your marketing pipeline. What do I mean by this? So I've got myself in curious. So this is someone that's just signed up. I don't know if this is a bot. I don't know if this is a real person. They're curious about what we have to say. I'm curious about who they are. When at some point through our email marketing, our promotions, or social medias, we see that they're clicking, let's say like we have this like triggered event. So within high level, within like, that's why the version we're doing, I'm sharing behind the scenes, or every other CRM that's worth its weight or worth its pound of salt or pound of flesh, whatever it costs that you're paying for that solution. You can track if someone clicked. If they clicked on your email, what's great about this is now your team can creep them. Are they someone that you want to do business with? They're inside your marketing pipeline. If they didn't sign up for a discovery call or sign up to do some sort of interaction with you, they just sit unknown to being quality into most people's pipelines. So what we can do is if they're clicking and they're engaging, but maybe they have not called us, maybe they're not answered our call, maybe they're not gotten on our calendar, we can creep them now. We can find them on socials. We can interact with their content so that they see us. We can understand who they are in their business. We'll have demographic information about them that we can pull if they're in the United States based off of like their income, their credit scores, like all of that stuff is available to you. So we can creep the click and then we can start doing scores based off of assumed qualifications. For example, if that person is within a local proximity of where my business can provide services, that's a higher quality score. If this individual works at a company that is publicly listed, that could be a higher quality score because it's not a brand new company where for agency services, they don't have the budget to support actual service provider services that we deliver at Mongoose Media. When you have emails that are going out, marketing emails and sales emails, the best way you can maximize your revenue is by having a marketing pipeline so that when you're talking to people, you're talking to them in the order that matters. It's like, I know it sounds basic, but if you're talking to everyone the same and you don't know the relationship to your brand, you're emailing everyone the same, you're missing out on some of the easiest wins of revenue recapture that you can have. So what we have is this like trigger-based item. This happens automatically. If someone's engaging or clicking on any email and you refuse to have a hierarchy of information, you're missing out on revenue. Both because when I have someone that's here and then a trigger automatically moves them here, I can send valuable data back into my ad systems that tells someone, Heather, I'm going to throw your lead over curious. If this triggered event moves them from stage 1 to stage 2, that progression of stage, I can send within 15 minutes that this Lauren Petrullo contact is worth more money to my company than this Heather contact. By sending in that valuable data because of email behaviors back into your ad platform, you're going to have better optimizations on your ads. And then when you start sending emails to the people in your pipeline, you'll have better segmentation and more relevant messaging. Hopefully this is making sense so far, where the ways that you can get the most out of your email, the way you can maximize the revenue is by repeating the emails and communicating, like repeating the emails to those that didn't open, and then like sending the same message in case they didn't see it, and then to have relevant conversations with someone based off of where they are in your brand and where they are in your CRM. This whole relationship to your brand is based off of the marketing pipeline. And you can have triggers and stuff that will do most of the work for you, such that I know that this person clicked, so I can do revenue maximization. So if this person clicked, I can have someone go now creep. Is this someone that is worth our time? So we can have lead scoring. So then say we have multiples. Let's say both Heather and I had clicked. We can have a hit list, a priority list of who we want to go after. I'm just going to zoom out a little bit. Where based off of their lead score. So if we have someone that's able to contact, you're in B2B space, you have someone that does dial outreach, you have someone that does email engagement, you have personal outreach, you have personal outreach in emails, personal outreach in socials. I know that Heather has a higher score because of her email activity. I'm going to prioritize her first. You want to guarantee that you're going to just make the bare minimum. You're going to treat everyone the same and you're going to do the bare minimum. This is how you want to communicate with your contacts the way our grandparents did it. We have a lot more technology and we can leverage AI to do personalization at scale. And then we have to just be mindful of our resources and the time. When you have an actual human being that's calling, have them focus on the ones that are going to get you fastest to cash. And so that's where, if you're creeping, let's say Heather has shown publicly that I'm able to assume that she's a higher quality lead than this Lauren Petrullo. I'm going to spend more time focusing and outreaching to her. Or I'm going to put my better closers or my better salespeople on those with a higher quality score because I have the fastest chance of collecting cash. So in our emails, if we send out marketing emails, promotion emails, or sales emails, and we have someone that click, this trigger-based item happens. What we have next is proof of life. You want to have more money from your emails, you need to start demanding that reply. What I have with this like demand for proof of life is a way that I can make sure my domain deliverability score is up and that my domain's reputation score is up. Because what happens in inbox crowded seasons like Black Friday or the upcoming 4th of July sale? You and everyone and their mothers are going to be sending millions of emails. If you're not sending tens of thousands of emails a day, you might be sending hundreds of thousands of emails that week because you've got a big promotion coming on. But if you haven't been warming up your database, if you haven't had people replying to you, you're going to probably fall into promotions or spam a lot more. And what happens when you fall into spam? You think that email is going to make you the same amount of revenue as if at least you're landing in promotions, or at least you're being white labeled or what have you to have better deliverability. To neglect the deliverability is to say, I don't actually care about money. And so what you want to make sure the best way, the easiest way, let me not say the best, the easiest way that you can make sure that you have a better reputation when you're sending emails is to consistently demand proof of life, which means having every email have a clear call to action and making sure that there's a way for someone to reply and encouraging the reply. Because replies to an email are some of the highest signals that these email service providers, ESPs, will say that your content is important to that user and possibly important to other users like them. I repeat, asking for replies and getting those replies are so valuable to your business because a reply is the highest signal that an ESP can send acknowledging whether or not the content you're sending to them is relevant or should be sent to spam or promotions. So demanding that proof of life helps you be better equipped to land your message when you have a sale that you need your message to be heard. Okay. Going back, I'm going to open up that marketing pipeline. I hope, like, for the team so far, do you understand all of the opportunities that brands are leaving on the table with their emails by not having a priority of who to contact and who to personally outreach, and by not having personalization in a relevant way? Like, team, for you and other brands that you're buying, are you seeing that level of personalization? Do you have any like brands that you're like, yeah, like I trust this brand. I'm more loyal to this brand because this brand adds personalization. Like, I'm finishing Alex's Schultz click here, and the amount of times he references how Meta, eBay, and WhatsApp at large like saw massive. Okay, Bay, I got one person that's validating this. Yeah, yes. Okay, great. Alex Schultz quotes, like, I feel like, hold on, what chapter I'm on? Oh, I bought the Audible. I know it's like chapter 12 or 13. He quotes the personalization data points, and he has like an attached PDF about the amount of uplift they saw with personalization non-stop. And you're like, I don't know who Laura Mitchell is. That's okay. Hi, that's me. But Alex Schultz, he's the CMO of all of Meta, which is a company that did $563 billion in revenue last year. You don't have to take my word for it. Take his. Heather Bay is saying, you for sure click on emails that are personalized to me. It's just the easiest way. So leaving these revenue opportunity moments is just a matter of laziness, or potentially you didn't know, but now you know. Like, these are really simple ways that you can recapture. I mean, the biggest you take away, nothing else, is resend the emails with a different subject line if it's still relevant and they didn't open it. Fastest way to cash. And then the next thing is having a more personalized conversation based off of the avatar for the relationship to your brand and your CRM. Now, what I'm talking about with having a pipeline is you need to have a way inside of your systems that when you're emailing folks, that you know who you want to contact. Heather, you need to fix the mobile one again. Sorry about that. I can zoom out. No, that's a Heather, you have to go in. Irish, just on that while Heather's cleaning this up. You're saying you only retain subscriptions to those that personalize to me. Facts. You want my recurring money? Facts. I'm not giving you money if you don't recognize the dollar. Like, oh man, the amount of subscriptions I've canceled where I was like, I'm just an invoice to you. No way. Like, I'm a human being. Treat me like a human being, or I'm going to treat you like a chargeback. So let me zoom in a little bit more. Heather, thanks as always for helping on the cleanup. Let me see. Will this make it easier? No, I don't. Dang. Okay. So we have talked about how if you have someone that signs up curious and then you're using your emails to signal a higher priority, both to the data systems and to your sales team, that someone has clicked, it's time to creep so that we can start doing lead scoring. The next thing that we have is this proof of life. Again, this is a triggered based triggered-based pipeline stage. So what we have here is proof of life is if someone replies within high level and most competent CRMs and email service providers. If someone has replied to an email that you sent because you're sending out promotional emails and you're asking for that reply, when they reply, again, name reputation goes up. It helps you for busy inbox seasons and other future people to not land in spam or end up in the promotions folder. When you've got that proof of life, this stage again becomes that priority list. You need to respond to those folks. We had a client that we had done consulting for, and she had 5,000 unanswered emails, most of which were like, hey, I'm trying to access this, or which is customer care and reputation management, or hey, where can I buy it? This link isn't working, which is direct lines to cash. Asking for people to reply is giving you the chance to have a dialogue with an individual. When you start having a dialogue, you start leading faster to dollars. All I want you to do is, for us, team, and the clients we're managing, that we help them get to revenue as fast as possible. This entire marketing pipeline, by the way, when someone's in here, you got 90 days. 90 days to progress. You come in as a subscriber. If I can't self-liquidate you in 90 days, I need to make sure that I'm feeding in the information to Meta that this isn't a high quality lead. Now, you might have a really high end product. You might have a 2-year lifecycle stage. Great. But this marketing pipeline, if I don't see any type of progression within 90 days, I need to earmark you as disqualified, as like, so within high level, right? I can click on this and we have lost, abandoned, and won. I need to mark you as someone abandoned. I cannot spend time on you. If you're signing up for something for me and within 90 days, I cannot get you to show me any type of progress. Like, so here you have in curious, you're going to sit here for 30 days where if like, hey, you're curious, you're signing up, this is interesting. If you don't show any type of activity, any click, you're not engaging this, I'm going to remove you. I'm going to mark you as abandoned, because you have 30 days to make your curiosity proof of actual interest. Otherwise, like you're a looky-loo, like, no thanks. I've got time to spend on other folks. So if I can't progress you out of curious in 30 days or less, I'm going to mark you as abandoned because I don't want to send you more content if I know that you're just a zombie, right? So when we talked a little about that email triage or I'm gatekeeping you, if I can't get that, I'm not progressing you. Now I've got 60 days. So let's say, or 90 days total. Let's say the person behaved right and they were curious and then they clicked on the asset and looked at it right away. Great. They clicked. Now we creep. We have the remaining 90 days to get them from clicking to getting them to get proof of life. What we're trying to do is develop a relationship. That relationship can be on social media. That relationship can be on emails, but we have 90 days to work this individual to send them relevant stuff that will inspire them to take action to show us proof of life. The reason why we have now separated proof of life from Tuesdays is because proof of life as a click can be a bot. Yes. But what I really want is a reply, or I want to see activity, which could be, hey, they were on our website for more than 5 minutes. Hey, they're engaging with our social medias outside of email. I can see them in different channels, right? How can we have proof of life? Let's focus on those. So I've got 90 days from when this person clicked or when they came in. Like, that's not clearly defined. So Irish and Heather, like, that's something that we can like put better in a cheat sheet. But I've got 90 days from when this person will either be then marked as abandoned because they've shown proof of life, but I'm going to abandon them if all they're doing is just like, we creep, unless, hold on, we can have exceptions. If we find that that person is a really high quality and we just have time. Because if we're creeping, we're giving them a score. Hey, this feels like a really good thing. If we can't provide them value within 90 days, we just got to focus on someone else. We have enough in our systems that we can have the chance to choose who we're going to focus on. And if they show proof of life, then great. They're going to stay inside of this entire marketing pipeline for a year. So we have 30 days, 90 days, and then 365 days where they're going to be in here. Or what we're trying to do is we've gotten that proof of life, then great. Now we're having relationships. I don't mind someone being in here for 6 months, 9 months, building that relationship, because success out of this marketing pipeline is that let me just scroll over. We know proof of quality. So when you're sending your emails, if you want to get the most money out of it, you need to have conversations that are relevant to them based off of their quality. You don't want to keep sending emails to individuals that are not showing you any proof of life, to individuals that are not actually engaging with your brand. You're spending money on emails that aren't getting paid attention to. And you're neglecting time away from those that are more apt to open up their wallets to you. So while I'm just going to pause it out to like wrap up for the last few minutes, while so much of the way that we make money from email is from a set it and forget it, walk away, and then expect the email to happen. The bigger opportunity is when you have personalized emails that are going out and that you're focusing on those that are going to get you fastest to cash. And we're clearing out the garbage that's just not going to get you there. Email costs are constantly rising. Based off of how big your email list size is, you have a monthly cost for the sends you're sending out. And the more sends you send out that aren't getting engagement, the lower your score goes into, the less likely that you're going to end up in getting into the inbox landed the way you want to. So you're hurting your chances by not having proper CRM hygiene. And I think one of the easiest ways that you can do it, especially if you're in the B2B space or you have a high ticket e-commerce, because at that point you're still contacting people, is to prioritize those that are going to get you cash fastest. Easiest way to make money on your emails, resend the email that wasn't opened to those so you can get your message across. And the longest way that you can earn the most money from all of your email efforts is to ensure that you are sending positive data and negative data back to your advertising platforms of what you want, and is to making a priority list for what you'll work. Okay, we're almost at the 1 hour mark. So I just want to connect with the team. A lot of this has been relevant. We've talked about the email maximization quite a bit with the triage, the various avatars, and how we gatekeep like a motherfucker. So if there are any questions on those, for those that are not on the team, you can watch past ones. For those that are on the team, like, you know where those are. But I wanted to like really emphasize, like Heather's just saying, like the way that they intersect each other, because having a marketing pipeline is cool, but understanding how your emails, have an impact and how many brands are wasting their money or wasting their time on those that don't have the fastest avenue to cash is a really easy way for us to lose focus on the bottom line. And so you want to recover a lot of revenue. Let's do it in the fastest way possible, which is having personalized conversations in a priority list of who's going to get you the fastest to cash. And so when you're doing those emails, having lead scoring, creeping those individuals, getting like you can do automatic lead scoring for the more they click and the more they're interactive. If they're on your website for 5 minutes or whatever those pieces are, you can have automatic lead scores so that your priority list is where your priority needs to be, which is should be and will now be always who is going to get you the fastest to cash collection. When someone's signing up within our marketing pipeline, sales pipeline is going to be they want to do a discovery call. They're like, yeah, I'm interested in what you have to sell. Like they're coming out the gate saying, I'm interested in what you have to sell. Someone who's coming into our marketing pipeline, like they're interested in what we have to say, and there's an opportunity for us to find out if they're interested in what we have to sell. Having that marketing pipeline is we're getting 90 days to figure out if the person that came in is actually someone that we want to work, or is it that someone that's going to be sit as a contact that's going to get a few emails. If they sit like in 90 days, they've clicked and they've not engaged with our emails and they've not replied, or like they haven't shown real proof of life or proof of engagement, whether it's in emails or elsewhere, they're still going to stay in our ecosystem. They're still going to be like they've progressed so that CRM status is still active. So they're going to get promotional based emails, but we're just not going to chase them for the money because we have enough people to chase. There's so much value in your ecosystem. And with the cost of leads, if you're doing it, like we'll show you the horsemen of how you can get, that's our next one, right? Next week is just pulling this open is 5 horsemen. So in next week, we're going to show you ways that you can structure your meta ads campaign so that you can get higher volume at lower costs for those leads. There's so much opportunity out there. I just think that most people are wasting time and not maximizing the revenue that they could be making on email because they're focusing on the wrong people. Focus your time, have personalized conversations, and like I said, resend the dang email. Okay. I don't see any other questions. I appreciate everyone who was able to join. Just checking in. Holy smokes. Whoa. Sorry. I'm just seeing those on Instagram. Hey, Nick. Oh my gosh. Great to see you. Thomas. Servus. Oh my gosh. Sorry. Wow. Garrett. Rob. Oh my gosh. Andy. Oh, love your face. Appreciate. Oh, hi. Thank you. So fun fact, the Instagram comments and the views are not coming through here. Danny, oh my gosh, love you. You've been an amazing soccer player. Shout out to LA Galaxy and the city where you've played. You're amazing. Hope you're enjoying World Cup. 2 really big matches today. Anyways, Tanya, Ali, wow, sorry. I'm overwhelmed with how many like amazing people joined on Instagram. Appreciate you. And as always, oh my gosh, even people that I went to college with. Oh, sorry. Okay. I have to be careful. Heather, thanks for that insight. For everyone, as always, I appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Next Friday is a holiday, so Mongoose will be closed, but the webinar will still carry on. So excited to chat for you. As Heather is saying, thanks for everyone who was able to join. Hope to see you in a future session. Ciao. Now I do my weird, awkward finger dance out while I figure